So maybe we are going to wait just maybe 2 minutes to have more people connect. I will share as well on my page. Perfect. Let me share on my page and we can start. Uh, Perfect. And I will share it on under the Jameson page as well. Okay, share to page and checking group. Okay. Okay, so welcome guys. We are going to mix 3 cocktails today. We are using this whiskey, Jameson. I will explain you why we are using this whiskey. Okay, you will see this cocktail is pretty easy to make. Okay, so if you have Jameson at home, you can just make it at the same time. If you have any question, please write the question and I will be happy to answer to this question. Okay, so first of all, when we talk about whiskey, generally we are using a spirit. Okay, what is a whiskey? Is the perfect balance between sweetness, sour, with a spirit, usually a strong spirit. In our case, we are using Jameson, which is 40 degrees. Okay, why we are using Jameson? Because Jameson is really versatile. Actually, when we talk about whiskey, generally we think about Scotch whiskey, and the Scotch whiskey are quite strong, a little bit smoky. It's not the case with Jameson. And you will see we can play it around a lot of cocktails because today we are going to mix an easy one, which is the Jameson ginger and lime, only 3 ingredients. Then we will have a basic match, like maybe 5, 6 ingredients, a little bit more complicated but quite funny. And the last one will be an espresso martini. Usually when we talk about espresso martini, it's a vodka-based cocktail, but in our case we are using Jameson because it's really smooth. Okay, so let's start with the first cocktail. For this one, we are using an highball, a big glass. So just take a glass at home, and the first and the most important is to put ice on it. Okay, but due to the situation, I think we are going to wash the hand. Okay. By the way, not wearing a mask because I'm alone. But now we can put ice into the glass. Okay. So we are using a lot of ice. Why? Because if not, I'm going to have water. I don't want to have water. So now I have my ice. First step, the spirit. So Jameson. So I'm using a jigger. If you don't have a jigger at home, you can use a shot, for example. Okay, I'm going to pour 50 milliliters of Jameson. Oh. Okay. So now we have the spirit. This one is the Jameson, ginger, and lime. So there is 2 options. You can use a ginger ale from the supermarket. There's a lot of different brands. In my case, I'm using a homemade ginger ale. What is a homemade ginger ale? Actually, it's pretty easy to make. What you need is to make a ginger syrup. Okay? So basically, you cut a ginger, you put the ginger with water in order to create like a ginger extract. Once you have the ginger extract, you use a strainer just to have the liquid, and you use 1 part of liquid for 1 part of sugar. Just you have to boil that around 50 minutes and you have a ginger syrup. What is the ginger ale? Ginger syrup with sparkling water. You can use Perrier, Badois. There is a lot of different brands. Okay? So, in this one we have 1 part of Jameson. Then I'm going to put top of ginger ale. Okay? So, yep. Cool. The thing is, the ginger ale is a little bit sweet. Okay? So just remember, I want a nice balance between the sweetness, okay, and the spirit. So I'm going to use a lime wedge, sorry, okay, and just to squeeze the lime wedge and drop it into the glass. That's it. The lime wedge is helping the cocktail to have like a fresh side. So I'm just doing that, okay, not too much, because if not, I will just explode all the bubbles. And now we have the Jameson ginger lime. Okay, it's pretty easy to make, 3 ingredients. Okay, and this cocktail is matching perfectly with Jameson. Why? Because again, Jameson is really smooth. It's a young whiskey, okay, from Ireland. So we have an age from 4 to 6 years old, and because we are using two kind of different casks, actually we are using bourbon cask and sherry cask. The bourbon cask is giving like a nice vanilla flavor, a little bit of toasted wood, and the sherry cask is more about nuts and dried fruits. Okay, so this with the ginger ale and just a squeeze of lime is matching perfectly. So of course, let's try it. Really, really nice. Okay, let me check if there is some question. Okay, no question for the moment. If you have any question, don't be afraid. Okay, there is no stupid question, particularly about the whiskey, because a lot of people are impressed about the whiskey, but the whiskey is more share knowledge with other people, and particularly with Jameson, we are pretty relaxed. Okay, so I will be happy to answer to your question if you have. Okay, first one was the Jameson ginger and lime, which is the signature cocktail with Jameson. Really nice. At home, you just need 2 ingredients. It's really easy to make. The other one, it's a little bit more complicated, but I'm sure you are going to like it. Why? Because we are using different ingredients. In this case, basil. Okay. So here, I'm really lucky because in KMC, they are growing their own basil, which is pretty nice. So you can have like the nice flavor. Okay. First step, I'm going to use like 5, 6, okay, depending if the basil is strong or not. Up. Cool. So, I have the basil. I will use lime, okay, but I just cut the wedge of lime by half, okay, by 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 should be enough, okay. So we need to add sugar, okay. So let's add a little bit of sugar. In my case, I'm using like a brown sugar, okay, granulated sugar, just 2 spoons, it's okay. Okay. We can start with the muddle to extract the lime and all the oil of the basil, okay. Just a little bit. Then we need to add the spirit. So we are using our whiskey Jameson and 50 milliliters. Okay, if you don't have jigger at home, you can use a shot. Okay, if you don't have a shot, it's more complicated, but what you can do, it's just to count really, really fast to 14, 114, okay, and you will have 50 milliliters. Okay, so we add the Jameson. So again, let's extract and macerate all the ingredients together. The nice thing about this cocktail, if you don't want to drink, okay, because it's not an obligation to drink, you can just make it without the spirit, okay. It's pretty fresh, really nice, okay. Don't forget, drink responsibly. Okay. So now I have my base. I can try it if I want. Okay, nice. A little bit strong. Oops, sorry. A little bit strong, but it's normal. Okay. So this is my base in a glass. Again, ice. Up. Up. Perfect. I'm using a strainer. Okay. I will pour my base. Perfect. This one is really fresh. Really, really fresh. So now I will add ginger ale. Okay. So the same. I'm using my homemade ginger ale, but you can use Fever Tree, you can use Canada Dry. It's up to you. Okay. Up. So I will pour ginger ale, but not to the top. Okay. I will leave a little bit of space because I will add a dash or splash, if you want, of sparkling water to to have this fresh side. Okay, a little bit more. And now I'm finishing with a top. Sorry, can happen. Where is my up? Don't worry, it's happening all the time. It's for that I have a apron. Okay, it's better now. Cool. Same. This is a cocktail, really fresh. Okay, so I will just take care of the bubble and mix it just like that. Okay, really slowly. Now is missing a garnish. So in terms of garnish, it's all the time nice to use the same garnish that the ingredients that I have into the cocktail. So I will just try to have a really nice up. Okay, with the basil, it's smelling quite strong. Okay, but if we want, we can do the same that we are doing with the mint when we are mixing a mojito. Okay, so I will just snap to open all the flavors. Okay, I can just put it into the glass like that to have the nice smell, and I will just add the garnish. Okay, and now we have a basil smash with Jameson. Try it if you want. Go ahead, don't be afraid. This one is really, really fresh. Let me know if it's good or not. I will check if we have some question. Hello, Daryl. Hello, Tony. Okay. It's more fun at KFC. At KMC. Yeah, you're right. It's good? Cool. So, the last cocktail. Just before the last cocktail, I will give you like just some fact about Jameson because we still have a time. So, Jameson is an Irish whiskey. Usually, when we talk about the whiskey, we are thinking about Scotch whiskey, okay, because it's the first and the largest category in the world. Then we have American whiskey, okay, so we have whiskey and bourbon. I'm sure that you know a lot of brands from the US. And the third category, in terms of volume, is the Irish category. But for you, if you want to produce whiskey, you can produce whiskey everywhere in the world. Actually, I used to work in Mexico. Oh yeah, I didn't introduce me, but I used to work in Mexico 2 years, And in Mexico, they just launched a new whiskey. Okay, in France as well, there is whiskey. In Japan, of course, India, in Canada. Okay, so you can produce whiskey everywhere. But in the case of Jameson, I have Irish on the bottle. Why? Because it's from Ireland. Okay, so if I want to put Irish on the bottle, I need to produce this whiskey in Ireland. Okay, from the beginning to the end. In the case of Jameson, actually, we start to produce this whiskey in Dublin in 1780, long years ago. Okay, the idea of the founder of Jameson, the name of this guy was John Jameson. So the idea of John Jameson was to develop and to create a smooth whiskey. Why? Because before in Scotland, the whiskey was a little bit strong, okay, a little bit harsh, complicated to drink. So John Jameson went to Ireland to produce a really smooth whiskey. Okay, but how is possible to produce a smooth whiskey? With a triple distillation. Actually, if you see the bottle, almost all the information are on the bottle. Okay, so in big you have like Irish whiskey, then you have triple distilled. Why is it important? Because the triple distillation give at Jameson a smooth finish. What's a smooth finish? It's easy to drink Jameson, okay, because it's not burning when you swallow it, okay, and this is a key difference from other competitors. Okay, Jameson is so smooth. Okay, now let's talk about the ingredients. If I want to produce a whiskey, I need three ingredients. Okay, I need water, yeast, and I need a cereal. Okay, when we think about the Scotch whiskey, they are using, a lot of Scotch whiskey are using malted barley. Okay, and they contract it and they call that malt. And now we have like a really trendy category, which is the single malt. That means malt from one distillery. Okay. Jameson is a blend whiskey. Okay. A blend whiskey between two kinds of whiskey. In one part, I have the traditional way to produce whiskey in Ireland. Okay. We call that single pot still whiskey. And in other side, I have grain whiskey. The grain whiskey is using maize. Okay. I'm not speaking Tagalog yet. Okay. Maize is a kind of corn. So the maize is giving a Jameson a really nice floral and light taste. But the first whiskey, which is the single pot still whiskey, it's coming from two kinds of barley. We are using the malted barley and unmalted barley. Our malted barley is different from Scotland because usually when they produce barley, what is malting barley? It's like you start and you have a grain. Okay, the barley is a grain. The barley start to grow with it. It's like the germination. And when you want to produce whiskey, you need to cut the germination. Okay. So in Scotland, generally they burn peat to dry the barley. With Jameson, we are using hot air. So that means that Jameson is not smoky. We have a really nice cereal taste. And we are using as well unmalted barley, which is a barley without transformation. Okay, barley without transformation is giving a Jameson a really creaminess. Okay, it's so nice. You can drink Jameson alone. If you want to, do I have a glass? Let me use a glass. I will show you. I think I still have a time, yeah. Okay. Just a little bit. Okay. It's not like a tasting glass, but you can do that at home. It's really nice. So basically, when I'm doing like a whiskey tasting, all the time, I start with the color. Okay. So in this case, and if you want to see well the color, you need like to have like a white background. So it's really interesting when you do like a comparative tasting. It's not the case today, but I can see that I have like a honey color. or amber. Okay. What I can do as well, I can turn the whiskey in the glass and see some drops. Okay. This is giving like information about the texture of the whiskey. We call that legs or angel tears. Okay. In my case, I can see that the legs are really slow. Why? Because Jameson is very creamy. Why? Because we are using this combination of a malted barley and malted barley. Okay? So we have a really creamy side. Next step, to smell it. Okay? All the time, and because it's a strong spirit, you have to smell it slowly. Okay? You can just open the mouth because you have like more flavors when you open the mouth. All the time when I'm doing like a mentoring session or tasting, I'm asking, okay, what you can smell? And it's like quite an impressive question because the people think, okay, I can maybe answer something stupid, but there is no stupid answer. Why? Because we have like a different palate. So you can smell something that I can't. Okay, so there is no problem. In my case, I can smell like a really floral side, which is coming from the grain whiskey. Okay, so floral. Then I have some vanilla. I have some dried fruits. Okay, so last step, the most important, it's to try it. Okay, so when I try a whiskey, and because it's strong, and it's my first glass of the day. Sorry for the people in France, it's quite early, okay? It's not an obligation to drink. But I will do in two parts, okay? I will start first with a little sip of whiskey. I will turn around maybe 4 seconds in my mouth and I will swallow. Cheer, or in Ireland is slunch. Slunch. So a little bit. That permits to open the palate. At the moment, I cannot define what are the flavors, okay, because it's a strong spirit, really smooth, but I have a lot of information on my tongue, okay. So what I will do, I will repeat, okay, that the same. I will turn into the mouth 3 4 seconds, and I will have a different experience with a really nice flavors. Slinch. Okay. Now I can understand what smooth finish means. Okay. When the whiskey enter in the mouth, I have a really creamy side. Okay, it's really nice in the palate. It's a little bit spicy on the tongue. Why? Because remember, this whiskey is a blend between a single pot still whiskey, the traditional way to produce whiskey in Ireland, a little bit like spicy on the tongue. Okay, and it's really important to have this spiciness because it's giving the balance and the nice experience into the mouth. Because after that, I have vanilla, a little bit of dried fruits, okay, a floral side. But the most important, it's at the end. When I swallow, it's not burning. And this is because of the triple distillation, actually. Okay? So if you have just something to remember, it's for that we are doing this cocktail session with Jameson. Jameson is really smooth and really versatile. So you can make a lot of cocktail at home. Okay? Let's make the last cocktail. Just, I will take a sip. Let me check if there is some question. Okay, no question for the moment. Okay, now the last one. Espresso martini, a cocktail with coffee. Actually, Sunday is Father's Day, so it could be a perfect cocktail for Father's Day. What we're using? 3 ingredients. Our friends, Jameson, Kahlua. What is Kahlua? A coffee liquor. Okay, really, really nice. And in this, espresso martini, I'm going to use a fresh espresso. I mean, a fresh espresso doesn't make sense, just espresso. Okay, so you can use it hot, there is no problem because we are going to shake it. Okay, at home, if you don't have any shaker, there is no problem. Why? You can use it just a container that you can close. It's working well. Okay, so in my shaker, I will start with Jameson, of course, 45 milliliter, so a little bit less than the other cocktail. Nice. Then Kahlua. So I'm just adding 25 of Kahlua, okay, half shot. Okay, nice. Sometimes the coffee could be a little bit strong, so my advice is to just try the coffee before. I'm just adding a little bit of simple syrup, okay, but we are talking about 5 milliliters, so just a spoon. Okay, that's it. We will add the coffee, but the nice thing to do is to put ice on the glass to have a really cold glass. Okay, so again, if you want to have a really cold glass quickly, just add a little bit of water. Cool. Leave the glass here. And my espresso. One shot. Okay? Now, time to check. So we add ice, of course. Cool. And we are going to shake really strongly because we want to have a nice texture. Okay, if you want to learn how to close a shaker, it's just like that. Up. And I will shake it. You can put the thumb on the top. Just make sure that it's really closed, because if not, you will have some surprise. Okay, nice. Up. I can see that I have a really fresh. I will open the checker. Don't worry, sometimes when the checker is really cold, it could be complicated to open it. There's no problem. Strainer. Okay. And you can see it looks like I have a really nice texture. Okay. If you have some coffee bean, you can just add it as garnish. Sometimes I'm just using like chocolate powder as well if you want. And now you have your espresso martini. You want to try it? Okay, let me check if there is some question. Salut Romain. Okay, there is no question for the moment. We still have a little bit of time. So, what do you think? Yeah, really creamy. So yeah, again, actually, this cocktail usually it's with vodka, but because Jameson is really smooth, you can use it with Jameson. It's really really nice. So if you want to finish like a dinner or lunch, it's the perfect cocktail actually. So yeah. So guys, a quick summary about what we made today. The first one was the Jameson ginger and lime. Really easy. Okay. Jameson, one part of Jameson, top of ginger ale, and you squeeze a lime to have the fresh side. The second one was the basil smash with Jameson. So basil, lime, a little bit of sugar, Jameson, we melt. Then we strain into a glass. We add 2 parts of ginger ale, and we finish with a splash of sparkling water. Pretty cool. Really fresh. If you want to surprise a little bit your guests, it's the perfect cocktail, particularly if you have like a fresh basil. And the last one, which is perfect just after lunch, after a meal, and it's perfect as well for Father's Day, espresso martini. 3 ingredients, or 4, depending if you like coffee or not. Because if you don't like or the coffee is too strong for you, you can add single syrup. Okay, but if not, it's Jameson, Kahlua, which is a coffee liquor, and an espresso. You put that into a shaker, you add ice, you shake really strongly, and then you strain into a glass. Okay, don't forget to put a little bit of ice in your glass before, because like that you have a really cold glass. Okay, so that's it in terms of cocktail. Anyway, if you want to have all the recipe, I have all my recipe on my Instagram. Actually, I'm uploading every week a new video about a Jameson cocktail. So my Instagram is just Ju underscore Rubio, Rubio. Okay, so you can find all the recipe on my IGTV. Okay, the only cocktail missing is the espresso martini, but I'm going to release it Sunday, I think. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, we are using Jameson because it's really smooth and really versatile in cocktail. So you see, you don't need like to have like a top level of bartending for that. You can just try it at home, and it's the beauty of the cocktail actually. You have a spirit, just don't forget that it's really important to have the balance between sourness and sweetness. But you can play around. It's like the same that when you are cooking, you can be creative and just try, explore, and at the end have a really nice cocktail. Okay, so thank you so much. Let me check if there is some question. No, I think we are pretty cool for the moment. Anyway, uh, I think you can just put comment on the video if you have more question after that. I will answer. I will be really happy to answer. And if not, have a lovely weekend. Okay, particularly here in Manila because now it's time to enjoy the weekend. In France, just missing a few hours. But have a really nice weekend. Enjoy Father's Day. And thank you so much for your time. See you guys.